I'm happy to bring to you my most recent and updated 2014 NFL mock draft. Instead of typing it all out in the description box, I've actually typed it all out on one of my favorite sites on the entire interwebs, walterfootball.com. They have a mock draft builder database, and I've posted the link to this most recent mock draft, that I'm going to be referencing in this video. I have put that link in the description box down below, so do yourselves a favor, do me a favor, and go check it out. And there I've gotten more in-depth analysis of each and every one of the 32 picks. Now, in this mock draft, I've decided to do this particular one with trades, and I ended up with a total of 9 first-round trades, which sounds a bit askew and sounds a bit high, and it could very well be, but most years you'll see anywhere between 6 to 8 or so trades in the first round. And in a draft like this, where to me there's going to be a lot of uncertainty. Some of the top tier prospects are going to drop. Some of the second tier prospects are going to rise. And overall, this is a very talented draft at several different positions. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility that some teams are going to sit there and say, hey, I can peel back and get this same level of talent a little bit later on. And on the flip side, certain teams are going to be like, that guy's such a special talent, it's worth me paying a little bit more than usual to move up and get this guy. And that's exactly what I envision. In terms of some of the trades I have going down here, and I wrote them all down so that way I can kind of share them with you here. I've got the Atlanta Falcons trading up to number 2 overall to take Jadeveon Clowney. To me, Dimitroff and the Falcons front office has demonstrated a willingness over the years to move up to get the guy that they want. They did it in 2011 with Julio Jones. They did it again last year to move up several spots at the tail end of the first round to get Desmond Trufant, the corner out of Washington. I think this is going to be another example here where it just makes too much sense for them not to go after Jadeveon Clowney, even though I don't feel that it is the only need that they could address. And I feel like at pick 6, they could stay there and draft somebody like an offensive tackle or maybe another defensive end or defensive tackle and fill a big need. But to me, at this moment, in the middle of January, I could envision a scenario where Atlanta would be willing to give up several picks to move up 4 slots to get a guy that they feel is a star and is a real difference maker. And from St. Louis's standpoint, it makes a tremendous amount of sense because at number 2, the talent and the needs don't match the draft position. And they want to position themselves to be in a continual position of power, kind of be like the New England Patriots were for several years, one of the big players in the NFL draft, having those multiple picks, and in particular multiple first-round picks. So you can imagine if a team like Atlanta came calling and said, we'll give you 1 or 2 mid-round picks this year and a first round or next year, St. Louis has got to jump all over that, say, hell yeah, we'll drop down 4 spots. And that's not the only time I have the Giants dropping, or not the Giants, the Rams dropping down. I've got the Giants trading up to number 6 to get Jake Matthews because he slides a little on my board, and the Rams peeling back to 12. Now, I've also got the Lions trading up from 10 to 5 to get Sammy Watkins, the wide receiver out of Clemson. Oakland is a team that is very talent deficient. Yes, they have a lot of cap space heading into this offseason, so I would assume they're going to spend some of that money. But they need to draft and draft well, and one draft alone is not going to fix all of their areas, but they need to accumulate as many picks as possible, in particular because of the organizational stupidity of the Raiders over the past couple of years, trading away a first-round pick for Richard Seymour, trading away, a first- and second-round pick for Carson Palmer. That's just dumb dick shit that makes you an irrelevant, meaningless organization, like the Oakland Raiders have become, and very devoid of talent, mind you. So to me, the Raiders could sit there at pick 5, take somebody like a Sammy Watkins or take a Jake Matthews, somebody on the offensive side of the ball, and become a better team because of it. Or they could trade back 5 picks, which is what I have them doing here, taking a player that is a top 10 talent and get an additional maybe second and third round pick to plug some other holes and fill some other needs. In terms of winners in this mock draft scenario, again, the link for this mock draft is actually in the description box. You can take you to the walterfootball.com website where you can see my mock. Some of the big winners to me, obviously the St. Louis Rams, because the way I have it playing out, I have them trading down twice from number 2 overall to get all the way to number 12 and still being able to get Mike Evans from Texas A&M. So a guy that fills a need, maybe it's a little high, maybe not, to take a Sammy Watkins, just sit there at number 2 when you can move back. I've got him trading back twice. Might seem unrealistic, but we've seen this stuff happen in the past. And then I've got him trading back again from pick 13 down to pick 16 or 17, wherever the Cowboys are going to end up, taking Clinton Dix, the safety from Alabama. Then with some of these other picks that they've accumulated, they're able to move back up into the tail end of round number 1. And I've got them taking Cyrus Quandijo, the offensive tackle from Alabama. Here's an example here where the Rams could perhaps, at least perhaps, address their three biggest needs as a team: a big physical number one wide receiver, another offensive tackle, and a safety that's a big-time playmaker to pair with the other members of the young secondary like Jenkins and Johnson and T.J. McDonald. They've been able to address their three big needs, taking these guys in appropriate slots in the draft where it's not a big reach, it's a little bit of a bargain, good value picks regardless, and they've accumulated several other picks. So to me, I have them being very big winners. I do have the Cleveland Browns taking Johnny Manziel 4th overall at this moment. I do fully envision that the Three Stooges would love nothing more to make sure that Johnny Manziel is their guy, even if that means having to trade up to number 1 overall to do that. I've been saying it for months. I thought the Browns were all about Johnny Manziel, and I stand by that now. I don't think it's a smokescreen. I believe they really do love this guy, and that's the guy they want to go with. And if that's the case, then if that's your guy, you have to do whatever you can, whatever it takes to get that guy. If it requires moving up to number 1, the good thing is they might not have to give up as much to move from 4 to 1 as you might think. They'll have to give up some, but they might not have to give up as much. We'll see. We'll see. But I do have 3 quarterbacks going in the top 4. I've got Bortles 1 to Houston. I've got Bridgewater 3 to Jacksonville. They couldn't possibly screw that up, could they? Manziel going 4 to Cleveland. And then similar to like Christian Ponder back at the 2011 draft, I have the Vikings taking the 4th quarterback on the board, this time at number 8, Derek Carr. Some similarities there. It's funny how that works. Some of the guys I have rising would be Coney Ely, the defensive end from Missouri. I've got him going 7th to Tampa Bay. I've got Khalil Mack right at the tail end of the top 10, going 10th overall to the Oakland Raiders, although I think there's a chance that he could potentially rise even higher than this, similar along the lines of what I was trying to tell you last year with Ezekiel Ansah, and he ended up being a top 5 pick, like I had been talking about for a long period of time. I was like, he's going to be top 10 for sure, and he might be top 5 where all these other people that knew so much, NFL scouts and executives say he's more of a 15 to 20 guy. No bullshit. He was a top 5 guy. I was wrong. Right, you were wrong. Suck off. Other risers, Timmy Jernigan, the defensive tackle from Florida State, goes 13 to Dallas when they trade up. I've got 2 tight ends going in the top 18 with Ebron from UNC going to Buffalo at 11 after they trade down with Tennessee. I've got Amaro going 18 to the Jets. You've seen some guys drop too, like Anthony Barr. I've got going number 20 to Arizona. I think he's a guy that you're going to see drop a little bit. I've got Calvin Pryor going 24. Yes, 24 to Cincinnati, so I think he's a guy that's going to rise a little bit. We'll see. I've got Aaron Donald now in the first round going to New England at 29, and I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility for that guy's stock to climb, even with his kind of smaller size on the inside. To see his draft stock climb all the way up to the top 15 picks in this draft, and you never know, Lovie Smith is lurking, I'm just saying. So, with that said, make sure you check out my mock draft. Link is in the description box down below. Another week or two, I'll have another one of these up, and maybe, just maybe, it'll be a 2-round mock draft this